Did you know that you don't have to do everything in the most productive, streamlined way possible and you can just live? Welcome back to this week's episode of Positively Pink and Psychological, where we talk about everything pink, bright, and maybe you learn a little positive psychology along the way. And my intro might sound a little stupid. It's basic and everyone should know it by now, but I didn't. I didn't know that I could just live. I didn't know that I didn't have to make everything this thought out thing. I got so worried about saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing, not having enough filter when I said something, when I did something, that I just stopped doing things. Recently, I've been really busy and I keep thinking about how I'm shaming myself because I have so many projects I want to do. I have so many ideas. I'm constantly thinking of things I want to do. I wrote a list down of goals and I have my bingo card. I got all these projects, gifts I got to make, all these different things. I'm constantly doing something, wanting to do something. And I kind of got to a point where I was like shaming myself for it. The fact that I had been coming up with all these ideas and I was so excited. There's so many opportunities for me that I kind of like broadened everything out and I didn't really like pick one thing to finish. I was just kind of like everywhere here and there. And I got so nervous about it that I stopped doing it, that I stopped creating. I haven't made anything in a little bit because I got so worried about it. And then when I picked up something and I started something that I wanted to do, which was again a new thing, I was so in my head. I was shaming myself about how it looked, about how it wasn't perfect, about how it wasn't the best way that it could have. I could have done a better course of action and how this and that. But I'm not letting myself just exist. I'm not letting myself just do it. If I want to do multiple things at once, if I want to have a million projects started at once, then that's what I do. Then I have a million projects started at once. I don't know why I've had to really like shame myself to this point where I can accept that. And today I practiced that by when I was bringing stuff in because I'm moving back and forth every weekend to go visit my boyfriend. I decided to unpack my things in the way that I wanted to. I didn't unpack it this morning. I went to work and then I went to my pool class and then I came home and then I ate and then I unpacked and I unpacked by going one by one and everything that I brought I immediately put it away because I used to always take everything in one trip or as many little trips I could just to bring it inside and it would just sit there and I wouldn't unpack it. It would just sit there and it would rot and I never put it away. But by doing this, by walking in and out and being annoying, I was able to put everything away immediately. I was the most what seemed like the most unproductive way was the most productive way for me because I was able to keep like a certain type of motivation and happiness and personality while I was doing it instead of getting so worried about having to do it a certain way in the perfect way. And I think that my podcast kind of turned to that to me as well. I think last week I was really, really dreading it because, right, like I said before, I was really just trying to like, and I still kind of am, just trying to post once a week. It doesn't have to be the most amazing thing. It doesn't have to be something very structured. It doesn't have to be very long. It's just something that I need to post once a week. And I'm keeping up with that. I think that's a really like attainable goal. Last week I was feeling very, very unmotivated. Hence why I was just like, well, let me just kind of do this thing I'm already doing, record it, and I can cut around it and add it. It wasn't the best, but it was something. And I'm I went on my friend's radio show. Shout out Selena and the Graveyard Shift on WPRK. But I was on her radio show on Saturday, and I was just thinking about like, and I just had been thinking about our conversation where like on the way there, I was talking to my boyfriend and I was just like, oh, I don't know. I feel like people perceive me wrong. I feel like people perceive me as really blunt and that's just like really exhausting. I want people to see me as nice because like I listened to my friend explain someone she knows and she was like, oh my God, she's so sweet. She's so nice. She's so nice. And I was just really feeling really insecure. I was like, I feel like people explain me as really honest or really like intense in a way. Like I'm someone who like has like really deep conversations on a regular basis more than I have surface level ones. And I'm like, oh, and I'm someone that holds people accountable. That's scary. It's intimidating. All these different things. I was feeling very insecure, and I went on her radio show. And this is like one of the very like first times we like truly got to interact one on one like for a long period of time. And she was so excited that I was there. She was like, oh, like on air, she's like, oh my gosh, like I have such a delight on air tonight. Like she was so excited that I was there, and she just kept telling me about how happy I was and how I was how I kept a smile on my face and that I was exciting. And then we talked about what I talked about in my first episode here about how I liked the potential of things. So I would let myself never finish things because I liked the potential of them. And I would just come up with the idea and I would never do it again because I just liked starting it. I liked patting myself on the back being like, "Wow, you did that. That's so amazing." And I'm talking to her about this and she's just like, I've never heard someone say that out loud. I've never heard someone like say it in that way, and that really helps me. And she was so honest and she was so vulnerable. Like she didn't like think about what she was saying in the way of like she didn't think like, "Oh, well, I just met this person and they're going to see me in a certain way." Like she was just herself. She was authentic. She was very much authentic and I just really admired that because I think I'm very authentic, but I think I can also be very like, "Oh yeah, like I can disagree with things if it's easier," especially as someone who's got offline on like off TikTok and I like don't get references. I'm very like, "Yeah, I totally get that now," because it's just easier. But to see someone just be like audibly like, "Wow," and like have a reaction to what I said and like give props to somebody else, it was really shocking to me because I think that I have grown to have a lot of pride by accident in the sense that in the sense that when I see someone else like in the sense how am I supposed to say this? Like I'm trying to think of like the words I'm trying to say because like I said, I didn't really think about this episode more that before I started recording, and this is really vulnerable. So please bear with me. But what made me think about this was I cannot remember her name. Alyssa Liu? I cannot remember her name. I'm sorry. The recent figure skater Olympian. I was watching this video with my boyfriend about from Nicole Raffi, and she talks about her mindset and how healthy it is and how she's so amazing because all she did these things. And my first thought was like envy. My first thought was like I want people to see me like that. I want people to like I don't know. I had like this pride where I was like, ugh, like I want like I don't know, it was my initial reaction. I remember sitting there being like, why is this my initial reaction? Why am I feeling like this? And I feel like I feel that a lot when I in everyday life when someone's like, "Oh, I don't know what that is. Can you tell me about it?" And it shocks me. It shocks for someone so honest, so authentic saying that they don't know what something is. I have just very rarely done that. I'm just always thinking in my head about like context clues of what that could potentially mean, or like if you're using a word I don't know, then I'm gonna like put two and two together what it means, or I'm gonna look the definition up while we're talking, or like things like that. These like prideful like things that I should be embarrassed about because they're things that I don't need to do just to do what? What am I getting out of doing these things? Am I like feeling better about myself? Do I feel like I look better? But I'm not happy. I'm constantly doing these things like, oh, I have to do things in a streamlined effect. I have to pretend like I know what you're talking about because then I'll be seen a certain way. Oh, because if I do this, then that. And the thing is, I can't think myself out of my 20s. I think that I keep asking advice from different people and telling things about my story, about my life goals, and about these recent like 3 month goals I have that I created about with different people, and I keep like wait anticipating their response, like my mother and my father, and I'm like, oh, my sister, I like all these different things. I'm like anticipating the response, like that it matters, that I need to hear what they're saying because it's going to control my life. But the reality is, I don't have to do everything right. I don't have to do things in the most streamlined way possible. I could take the GI Bill and I could live at home and I could get the most money out of it, and I could go to community college and commute and destroy my car, or I could live, or I could go and I could have fun like I want to. I could do what I want, and if I fail, then I fail. At least I know because I have spent so long thinking that I need to do things in the most streamlined effect, but that got me nowhere. I graduated with my associate's degree in high school. I went to the school that I wanted to go to so bad, and I went and I had an amazing year, and I still left. I still left. I still got burnout, and I still left. I had this plans. I went back to college and I went back for the same major. I finished my psych degree. I'm going to finish in May. I'm going to graduate. All these different things. And it's like, I'm not going to go to grad school anymore like I wanted to. Like I thought I had to, more like I had to. I didn't come up with a reason to go to grad school. I didn't find something to specialize in to go to grad school because that's what I had to do. Instead, I'm going to go get the visual arts degree that I wanted to change my major to, but I was too scared. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go to school and I'm going to do it. And you know what? If I fail, then that's fine. You can pat yourself on the back and you can look at my life and say I was right. I was right. I told her that she shouldn't do that, or I told her this, or I thought, "Oh, I knew this wasn't going to work out." But I could just be happy. I could just choose to be happy and I could just choose to live. I just recently I've really thought about how I am and how I interact with my everyday life and how I'm constantly like, "Oh, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this next." But the past like few days, I've really lived in the moment and I've calmed down so much. I went to this festival yesterday with my boyfriend and it ended up being terrible, but you know what? I didn't stress out about all the money that I spent or I should have known this because oh blah blah, but there wasn't enough information on the website, so how was I supposed to know it? I should have known that I wasn't going to like it. It's okay. I got an experience out of it and now I know not to go back next year and now I know that I it was something I really wanted to do, so it's okay that I went and did it and it's okay that it didn't turn out perfectly because I still had an amazing time in my own way. And I this is such surface level things, but I think that when you're a gifted kid, and I think when you're a lot like me, when someone who's very anxious and wants to do things right, and I want to be the most productive, and I want to do things in the most streamlined, best way possible, you you forget that you're a person. You forget that you're not a robot, and you don't have to constantly have a course of action, and you can just take it day by day. I want to move out this summer, and I immediately was like, "Oh, I need to find a house. I need to go start looking at houses. I need to do this. I need to do that." And now I'm like, "No, I'm not moving out until the summertime. I could check in every once in a while on some houses that are nearby, think about what I do and what I don't want, see what I really don't want, see what I really do want." But that's it. That's all it is. It's passively looking because that's all that I could do right now. No amount of stress is going to change the amount of control that I have in this moment. And no amount of thinking I can do is going to make my 20s perfect. I'm still going to have to fail. I'm still going to have to do something. And if I keep sitting here thinking about the best way to do it, I'm never going to learn. I'm never going to experience anything because I'm thinking about how I was living there for a minute and I kept making all these different art things. And yeah, I wasn't finishing them, but it wasn't in the way that I was before where I was scared of finishing them. I was just so excited about life and art and doing things that I just kept making things and it was pouring out of me all these different ideas, so I just started all of them and then I stopped because I thought myself out of it and I thought about how I was being unproductive and that I should be shamed about it and all these different things. And so now that I'm here and now that I'm thinking about it, it's like I was so exhausted just this morning and thinking more and more about how I could live to be different and how I'm the reason that I'm so unhappy and I could just change the way that I think. It's really it's really liberating to know that I can just dream right now. Excuse me. No matter what anybody says, no matter if people think that I'm crazy or if I'm overzealous or if I'm greedy because I come up with so many ideas and I have such a different I'm at a fork in the road with so many different life paths right now. It's not greedy of me to be excited and to consider different things and to think about all the opportunities that I have. Just because I talk about them and I think about them doesn't mean I'm going to do every single one of them. I'm still a human being, I still have to eat and sleep, but I'm allowed right now to just be excited and to just be happy about it. And I really am letting myself. I don't really know if I have much more to add to this. I really don't because I just feel excited again. And I think it's going to stay. I think it's going to stay this time because I think that I've really gone through a mindset change and I'm going to get sad and I'm going to get stressed again, but I'm going to get out of it because I haven't really been nervous about things recently. And I just am really proud of myself. And I just want to give a pat on my back And I just want to hug myself because my life doesn't have to be what other people think it should be, or how it seems, or the best, most ideal life. It doesn't have to, I think that getting my associate's degree at high school and getting oohed and awed at that really created that mindset in my head that I constantly needed to be like gawked at. But I can just trust my judgment. I don't have to overthink every single step that I want to take. I don't have to defend myself to other people, and I don't need them to be on my side because this is what I want to do and this is what I'm going to do. And you can come along the ride or you can stay behind. But either way, I'll be posting next week. So stay sweet.